lovely and spacious homes, beauty of design and functional practicability have been expertly combined to bring home buyers livability plus. The choice of a variety of architectural components and other exterior finishes adds further touches of distinction to the completed home.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Hey folks, Monty McCullough here with McCullough Design Development, San Diego's premier and finest custom estate home designer and builder. I'm standing in front of what will become San Diego's biggest, finest, and most expensive model home ever built. It's located in the Santa Fe Valley, next to the Crosby and the Santa Luz and Rancho Santa Fe. And it's where the good and the great either live or want to live. It's a lot of fun, really pretty piece of property sitting on 5 acres. We call it the Industrial Ranch House. So there's going to be a lot of new and fun architecture, designs, features, and elements in the home. But before we get into a lot of those neat features like we typically do on these videos, I'd like to talk a little bit about what it was like the previous 2 years, 2+ years, trying to get permits for this house. You know, I know a lot of family and friends who live in surrounding states. They've moved from California to Idaho. They've moved from here to Arizona, Nevada, a lot of them to Texas. And they say, Monty, you're crazy. Why are you here? Why do you stay in California? It's so much easier to build homes in Texas or wherever and to get permits, and on it goes. But California still has an amazing pent-up demand for homes, and especially big brand new estate type homes that we do. So the demand's here, the money's here, the lifestyle, the weather. Have a glass of wine on your back veranda porch any day of the year, any month of the year, you've got it. The previous 2+ years, it's always a struggle to get permits. Here we had not only just get building permits, but in California, you need 10 other permits. On this home, we had to get permission from all the utility companies because we had to bring in all the electrical because we're running a huge 600 amp panel to power the home, because we've got all the latest Tesla power walls and we've got all the latest photovoltaics, and you know, the homes are going and tending towards more electricity and all that. We also had to get the water authority approvals. So we had to bring in all these new water lines to the home. We also had to get the fire department. Dang fire department, they have so many requirements now, and they have that authority. I not only had to bring in 1 fire hydrant, I had to bring in 2 dang fire hydrants to this house. One 1,000 feet down, and I told them, I said, hey guys, what's with all the fire hydrants? It ain't for my house. They said, no, Monty, if you want the privilege to build your home, you've got to build a fire hydrant for everybody else's house. I go, okay, well, I guess I love my neighbors. So, and they're expensive to put in, but you got to put them in. Fire hydrants, power, and in building and planning departments, engineering departments, coastal departments, you got to get permits for all this jazz. At any rate, but we got all through that. You got to be patient, but you can get through it. And now you have the ability to build your home. And that's where we're at. We finally poured concrete several months ago. You can see in the background, we're framing the thing. We're putting in all the mechanical and the electrical and the plumbing, and on it goes. I mentioned the house is big. It's massive. This thing is clocking in right at 11,000 square feet total under roof. And that includes the square footage of the habitable, or what they call living area, that's air conditioned and heated. It has under roof with the garages, under roof with all the patios and the front porch right behind me, the covered veranda room. It also has a detached ADU. California, they're called ADUs, meaning accessory dwelling units. And they've become an amazing boom with new construction. Everybody wants an ADU. All right, well, the industrial ranch house, what does that mean? What is it? We're kind of inventing a new style here. It's not Spanish or Mediterranean or modern Spanish. It's not modern farmhouse. It's not coastal. It's what we call something like you take an old factory from 100 years ago and you repurpose it and you refurbish it. What does that look like? And then you take an old brewery and you redo it and remake it. What does that look like? And then you got to all marry that to a nice estate home, meaning the home still has to look good. It has to be warm, fuzzy, inviting. The rooms have to make sense, the traffic flows, the furniture layout, but you also have to have all these features that make it look cool, like you're walking into an old factory that's been redone or an old brewery. Like for instance, right above me. It's the ceiling above the main great room, the family room, the nook. Typically we would put stair-step ceilings here, we would put beam ceilings here or whatnot, but what we're doing in the industrial home, we're getting these black steel trusses and we're putting them in the ceiling with some 2x8s right above it, and it simulates what an old factory floor would look like if you're on the bottom in the basement and you're looking up and they're redoing the floors and they've got exposing all these black metal trusses. But black metal seems to be the theme throughout the house too. We're obviously going black metal windows, we're going black metal doors, we have black metal I-beams and black metal C-channels on the exterior and a lot of features. And we're also doing black metal cleats on some of our eyebrow roofs. And we'll get into that later, but it'll be a lot of fun once they're all installed. So we're going to introduce some brick on the ceilings, brick on the walls. We're going to introduce some old stone, and we're going to mix all that in with some of the cool black metal and some wood. So we think that a lot of that combination is going to start mimicking what an old factory would have looked like if somebody bought it, refurbished it, and put it out there to reuse. Here's the black metal panoramic sliding French doors in the back of the house that connect the interior great room of the home with the covered veranda room. So again, it's 32 foot wide, which means it is 4 4-foot panels a side. And when it's all done, we're on these really thin 1/8 inch aluminum tracks, and that's all you see when the tile's laid in the inside of the home and when the tile goes out to the outside of the home. The doors are fully open and you have that indoor-outdoor track. They're really easy to open too. I'm opening this with one finger, and of course it still has a lot of construction dust and debris around, but it's still really super cool and easy to glide open, glide closed. And when they're fully open, it's a party both indoors and out. Here's the black metal pass-through window. It's 6 feet wide, 5 feet high, and this will slide back into a pocket disappearing into the wall. Now I call it a pass-through window because it sits between the interior of the home where the kitchen is and the exterior veranda room, and we're going to have a full-on outdoor kitchen with its own outdoor island. The idea being is you can just simply open up this window and you can pass the food and the drinks and the beer and the wine and the hot dogs and the hamburgers in between the guy barbecuing and serving the drinks out there on the veranda, or you can pass it back here when everything's done. I'm in the laundry room, and we've got the gas line here, and we've got the vent lines and all that. Speaking of gas lines, you know, it's getting harder and harder in California just to get gas into these homes, but we're also wiring them for electric. So if in the future anybody wants electric dryers, it's going to be wired for it. Now, speaking of washer and dryers, you know, with the front loaders now, people have noticed they're starting to become deeper and deeper. You have to allow for a full 3 feet from the wall to the face of the washers and dryers. And this is really causing a lot of consternation in people who want to remodel, and they pull out old washers and dryers that used to be, 28 inches deep, maybe 30 inches deep, and they're discovering all the new ones are 36 inches deep. So what we do to compensate for that is we fur out our walls an additional 12 inches. So our cabinets, the 2-foot deep cabinets, are now flush with the 36-inch deep washers and dryers. So it's got a really nice, clean look to it. Now in this laundry room here, we're going to have a side-by-side washer and dryer and a stackable washer and dryer, just to display to our clients what each one looks like side by side. And we're also in this corner here having the new LG dry cleaning unit. It's kind of a neat new feature for our laundry rooms where you just put your clothes in and they not only can you wash them and dry them, but you can now dry clean your suits and pretty dresses. In our display garage, we have the water system area. This is going to be where our hybrid tanked water system is. It's going to be a massive 75-gallon water heater. And we have our Pelican filtration system, where it's the charcoal filter, the sand filter, the ultraviolet light filter. In Southern California, you have to have water filtrations before the water from the water in the street goes into the house. The reason? Most all the plumbing now is done with PEX plumbing. But the hard water in Southern California is so bad that it even screwing up the inside pipes of the PEX systems. Not just copper pipes, but PEX pipes too. So you've got to filter the water. Otherwise, it's just there's an inevitability 10 and 20 years down the road, there's going to be pinhole leaks somewhere in a home with all the hot water, especially on the hot water side, because it's being recirculated and the granulations inside the water just scores the inside of those pipes. Here at MDD, for decades and decades, we only use 2x6 studs, stud wall framing throughout our homes. We don't even know what a 2x4 stud is. We just let the track guys build their homes out of 2x4. It gives it a lot of rigidity. The walls in the house are always true and straight. And the doors, when you open and close these tall 8-foot and 10-foot high doors, it just gives it that added strength. Plus, we also put in 5/8" drywall. It's heavier drywall, holds to the walls better, and we're allowed more insulation too. So these homes are built like a tank, and it all starts with 2x6 studs. Now, on this wall, you'll notice it's double deep. So this is not just one 2x6 wall, but it's two 2x6 walls, 12 inches wide. The reason for that, we're still in the garage right next to the water heater and water filtration system, but this is going to be my Tesla Powerwall wall. We're allowing a lot of depth in the wall because there's a lot of wire and massive heavy wire too. Copper wire, aluminum wire, and a lot of it. And a lot of the home runs are going to come here, and these batteries are, we're going to talk about them in the future, but they're going to power the home during the evening. But you have to allot thickened walls for the batteries and all the wiring that accompanies them. This is the media and audio video low voltage closet located in the office. And you can see there's already starting to become a massive amount of home run wiring for all the lighting systems throughout the house that's going to come into this closet. We haven't even started any of the low voltage Cat 5e and RG6 cabling yet. This is just all the high voltage stuff that's coming into the closet. But the low voltage guys are coming in, and we're going to put a whole bunch of racks and components in here, and there's going to be 500 wires coming into this closet. But it's going to be cool because the home is turning into a smart home where you can run the whole house from your cell phone or from certain switches on the wall. There's going to be a lot of neat features to it, and we're going to talk about that later. But it's kind of fun to see what it looks like before a lot of the wires get here. These are just all the high voltage wires coming in. I wanted to talk about a little foundation detail. I'm standing in the owner suite shower. Now it's big, it's 7 foot by 7 foot. They always usually are. But we poured the concrete floor 3 inches lower than the floor just outside the shower. What this allows is when the tile of the floor in the bathroom goes down and the tile goes in the shower, there's going to be just a gentle ramp going down into the shower area. So there's no dam to step over and across. I started doing this because I've built several homes for people that are in wheelchairs, handicapped folks, and this is required to get the wheelchairs in. So the opening is extra wide at about 40 inches, and then we have a gentle slope we can get a wheelchair down here. But those little handicap details they're kind of cool because even when people don't need a wheelchair, there's just a really nice detail that I discovered that people just love to walk straight into a shower, not having to step over any water dam. And then of course it's built with what we call the floating bench, so there won't be anything up underneath here. Just sit on a bench, let the water drain over you. You can kind of see the shampoo niches that we're starting to build. You got to kind of pre-design all this in the framing stage and make sure you've got your shampoo niches in, you've got your benches in, you've pre-thought all that through. I'm in the master closet or the owner suite closet, and we're putting in a stackable washer and dryer unit kind of hidden around the corner. We get a lot of requests for this. Most of the time, the owner suite is on one side of the home and the washer, dryer, laundry room is on the other side. So they say, hey, look, if you can put me a washer and stackable washer and dryer in the owner suite, that works out great. So it's kind of a neat little design detail, and we'll revisit this when the house is further along. Another design detail we've been doing an awful lot lately in the last few years is these bathroom closet combinations. So I'm standing in the middle of a bathroom of a secondary bedroom. The bathrooms tend to be a little bigger than normal homes, of course they should, but inside the bathroom, I also have a doorway that leads into the walk-in closet. So you get into the bedroom and then you want to use the bathroom to that bedroom. You go through one door, it accesses the sink, the toilet, the shower, but you also have access inside the bathroom to the closet. What this does is it makes the bedroom itself more efficient. Instead of having 3 doors inside the bedroom, one door to enter, one door for the bathroom, one door for the closet, now you're down to 2 doors, which allows your furniture layout to be much more efficient and clean lined, and the walls are all clean lined. Plus, people just like it. They get out of the shower, they're brushing their teeth or whatever, they have all their clothes right here inside the bathroom. It's just more convenient for everybody. So we talked about black metal doors and windows. And this here is the entry door of the home. It's massive. It's 8 feet wide, it's 10 feet tall, it has 2 side lights, and the entry door is 5 feet wide itself, but it's on a pivot. These doors I've been doing these doors for about, 6-8 years now. You know, back in the day, 20, 30 years ago when I was doing these homes, we always had double entry doors. That was the cool, sexy thing to do. Nobody wants double entry doors anymore. No. But everybody likes these big 5 foot wide, I've done 6 foot wide, opening doors, single opening doors, but you got to put them on a pivot, mainly because it's just cool. That's what the pivot's all about. But it's also, it helps with the weight of the door too, so you're not opening the entire 5 foot wide, you're only opening 4'3" of it with 7 inches on the pivot. Okay, fun entry door. I'm standing in front of what will be the detached ADU, the accessory dwelling unit. Now this one here, because it's in the county jurisdiction, maxes out at 1,200 square feet. You can't build them a square foot over. That's the law, that's the rule books, that's the code. This one's 1,200 square foot, 2 bedroom, 2 bath. It's got a neat little kitchen and living room. It's amazing how much you can squeeze into 1,200 square feet. Most people walk into my ADUs and they say that, my goodness sakes, this is big for 1,200. And this one here also has an extra large 1-car garage attached to it. So come on inside, let's go take a quick around. I'm standing inside the ADU, and this is the great room of it. It's 20 feet wide by 26 feet long, and this is the kitchen, and that's going to be the family room. So it's going to have a really nice big 3.5 foot deep by 10 foot across island with a sink in it. And the island's going to be a bar countertop where we can sit 5 people if you want to. So the island is acting as a dining room, breakfast table also. Big enough to act that. Now against the back wall of the kitchen is where all the appliances are going to be, save for of course the sink and the dishwasher in the island. We're going to have the refrigerator, we're going to have the cooktop and the oven, the microwaves, counters, we're going to have cupboards. This kitchen's going to be bigger than what most people think. But at any rate, it's a nice, big, relaxing room. And then right over here is the family room, the living room of the great room. And this will have seating for 6 people with a big sofa, a couple big chairs, a big TV. It's got a nice feel to the room. And when you make them 10-foot high ceilings, it's just got a really big feel to it. Behind camera is 2 more bedrooms, a smaller kind of a track house bedroom of 12 foot by 10 foot in size with a wardrobe type closet. But it also has a larger bedroom with its own walk-in closet and its own bathroom, all good size too. And the larger bedroom is big enough to put a queen or king size bed. So these are truly, these 1,200 square foot little guest house ADUs, you can live out here and you've got everything you need. I even have a small little laundry room in here with stackable washers and dryers and a countertop right next to it. So it's got everything. This one even has a garage. It's go time, show time. If you want one of your college kids live here, you want mom and pop living in here, or like I said before, one day the owners of the homes, they age out of the big home and they move into the ADU. I always say here at MDD, we are warranty freaks. We're actually warranty super freaks. We just don't want nothing to happen with our homes. Okay, and a big thing with warranty is waterproofing. We always have to focus on that. We always tend to spend way more money on waterproofing than most everybody does. For instance, all of our walls, windows, our roofs, they always have 2 and 3 layers of waterproofing everywhere. Like this wall here, we're just starting to put in our hardy siding for the ADU, but it's got a layer of Tyvek and then it's got a layer of 60-minute paper over the wall. And part of the waterproofing is doors and windows, and you can see here, this window, we put 12-inch wide Jiffy Seal around every door, around every window. This stuff is crazy tough. You can't tear it, you can barely cut it with a razor blade knife. And I gotta tell you guys, even get this, so every electrical light and every plumbing penetration through the wall, we put in the 12-inch Tyvek. We just don't want any leaks. Have I said that yet? At any rate, we're warranty super freaks around MDD. We want to deliver a really, really top-notch home, and it's in those details, and waterproofing is a big, big detail. Well, as you can tell, there's been a lot of work so far done on the home, a lot of design work and permitting even before that. And there's still a whole bunch more work to do. We still have to finish all the rough electrical and rough plumbing and rough fire sprinklers and rough mechanical. We've got to stack the roof and put the roof on. We've got to finish all the hardy siding, and then we're going to start the scratch and brown coat for the stucco. So on it goes. These homes, it's surprising, these homes, compared to how long the permits take, the construction and build time of a home is far less now. Typically permits in Southern California, when you start designing a home and you put everything through the jurisdictions and the building departments and coastal departments, it takes anywhere between 2 and 4 years. I was just on a home, we just started construction here a few months ago, and it took 5 years through the Coastal Commission. It was nuts. But typically, a home will take anywhere between 2 and 3 years to get permits on. But the build on these things, a fast build on a fairly simple home is about a year. A more complex home like this can take about 1.5 years, depending, of course, on weather and and how difficult it is and how much you're grading. We didn't do a lot of grading on this. In fact, very, very little. Pools make things more complex, and most of my homes have pools. A lot of the landscape features and driveways can be complex and extensive. Plug this one in at about 15 months to start to finish on the build. So much less than it took to design it and get all the permits done. I would say we're about 1/3 of the way done. The home should be finished and should be finished late spring of 2025. Look for a grand opening somewhere midsummer 2025. It gives us a few months to get it furnished and all touched up and all the foo-foo put in, and it'll be a fun grand opening. So I look forward to seeing everybody there. This being our flagship home, we're going to showcase a lot of really cool new features and elements on the home. We're going to showcase the latest in innovation, technology, and energy efficiency. So please join us on the journey as we bring the industrial ranch house to life.